Hello, I'm Douglas Johnson, the Day Tripping Adventurer, and today I'm on Long Island. Specifically, I'm in Seaford, Long Island. And you know, growing up, I grew up on Long Island, and growing up I always heard sirens. And when I got back here about 2 weeks ago, I was hearing sirens in the background, and I just knew I had to do a siren walk here on Long Island. If you want to check out Sirens on Long Island, New York, there is a YouTube channel called Sirens of Long Island, and he not only goes around looking at the sirens, but he knows when they're going off, and he gets to see them go off, or you get to hear them go off. So that's a great channel to check out, Sirens of Long Island. So here I am on the corner of Southern and Waverly, and across the street from me is the Seaford Fire Department. And right on top there, there's our first siren. Now, one of the things, when I looked at the map of the sirens, it looked like, or the map said that this was a Model 5. But doing some research about the models or the differences between the Model 5s and the Model 7s, one thing they said was the 7s had a much larger, lower rim on it, or hood. Now looking at this one, and I'll show the picture, the hood on it, the top one is smaller than the bottom one. So is this a Model 5 or is this a Model 7? Because the only difference, from what I understand, or from what I saw on a website, I'll put the name of that site down here below, is that the internal guts of this thing, it's either a 5 horsepower or a 7 horsepower, and that there's a slight difference in the hoods on it. The bottom hood is larger. So is this a 5 or is this a 7? I don't know, let me know. I will do more research on that and see if I can find out on a future video. So now another thing about these sirens here in Long Island is they still work. Growing up, I heard them. There was one right outside my high school. So we always had to stop class. Around noon they would test them. But they're used mostly for the fire department, from what I understand. Talk about the siren. So, you know, it's painted brown. It's in good shape. It's got some bird droppings on it. And yeah, it's still an active siren. Here's the first siren in Seaford, Long Island, on my Long Island Siren Walk. From the Federal Siren on Southern, I came down to Merrick. I went west down Merrick, past Wantagh Parkway, until I got to a street called Brookside, and I saw the next siren, which is right there. But here I am in the town of Wantagh, in front of the Wantagh Fire Department, and right in front of it is our next siren. My understanding that that's called a Sentry 3 V8, and the research I did, you know, I looked these things up online. I do a little work before I come out. It was made by a company called the Omni Sentry Company, or Omni Sentry Inc. And it's one of the smallest models of the Sentry line of sirens. So that's about all I know. If you know more, let me know. But being in front of a fire station, I have a suspicion this still works. And this is pretty cool. Coming from Los Angeles, where I'm seeing basically primarily three sirens, the Federal 7s, the SD10s, and the 500Ts, with the occasional 1000s and others. This is a completely different siren for me. And apologies, this is a very busy road, Merrick Avenue. By the way, self-plug, I did a Merrick Avenue walk, and if you're interested in it, check it out. I'll put the link below. Anyway, back to sirens. So there we go, a Sentry 3 V8. It's an interesting siren. It looks like a Model 7 with a top hat. That's the best way I can describe it. The rotor is exposed down in the bottom below the second little brim there. There's an upper brim, but I don't know if there's another rotor up there. Yeah, it's just strange. And then there's like a whole area down here with vent, and I wonder if the motor's down there and it's a ventilation for the motor. Anyway, let me know any information you might have about these type of sirens. Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing these ones. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. This is the siren in Wantagh. This is siren number 2 on the walk. And now off to the next one. From the Sentry 3 V8 at the Wantagh Fire Department, I went back east down Merrick Road, made a left on Wantagh Avenue, Took that up to a street called Park Avenue. Made a right down there. You can see train tracks. That's the Wantagh Long Island Railroad train stop. And across the street is a firehouse. And on the roof is our next siren. You know, when I'm doing these siren walks in Los Angeles, I keep seeing different sirens and I comment on how great of shape they're in. And they're all dented and rusted out. They've been up there forever. This one looks brand new. I mean, it looks like it's only been up there for a couple years. I have no idea how long it's been up there. I have no idea if the federal, the federal siren system or the federal company is still making sirens, but that one's in absolutely great shape. And the thing is, again, going off the Civil Defense Sirens Wikipedia, it says that the difference between the 5s and the 7s, the best way to know the difference is that the top cone up there is smaller than the bottom. That the bottom is larger. The bottom cone is larger. Again, the bottom cone on this is larger. And it says the larger cone is how you identify the Model 7. But all the sirens here, according to the maps, and according to all the information I have, it's saying these sirens are Model 5s. I don't know. This is like another mystery. It's like those cut downs we see in Los Angeles. Is that a Model 7 or a Model 5? Anyway, point is, that's a gorgeous siren. I've seen rusted, beat up Model 7s for the past couple of years, and this is the first time I get to see one that looks brand new. Now, the thing is, Long Island Railroad. Now, the thing is, I'll let it go. Now, the thing is, a big difference you're going to get from when the ones in Los Angeles were new and this one is, I believe all the ones in LA were painted like yellow. That was the civil defense color at the time, and that was for World War II into the Cold War. Again, these are for the fire stations, thus being on a firehouse. But it's still cool to see them in such great shape. So one thing I want to point out from being a walker is, if you look behind me there, there's no sidewalk, right? No place for a pedestrian to walk, right? There's a sidewalk across the street. You just have to take my word on that. However, when I get here to this like freeway entrance and stuff, where is it? It's right there. There's like the thing where pedestrians are supposed to cross, here to there, and then you look over there, it's just dirt, and I gotta go that way. There's no sidewalk. So that's the thing that gets me. It's like these cities are not designed for pedestrians, yet they put these things in like this to say, oh yeah, we're pedestrian friendly. Does that look pedestrian friendly to you? From the siren on the roof of the Wantagh Fire Department, I went back down to Sunrise Highway. I headed east until I got to Hicksville Road, made a left, then I got to the Massapequas Fire Department, and there's the next siren. It's just a little dot square from here, but that is a siren that during my Los Angeles walks, many people claimed those federal Model 7s that were cut down, many people claimed that it was this siren. That does not look like the cut downs. That is a completely different siren. That is an HOR Zero drone by the Century Company. So one thing I learned about these HOR Zeros is that they were created in the 1940s, I believe like late 1940s, so post-war, or around the wartime. They might have been created during the war by a guy named Harry O. Rickey. And this was one of the sirens that he made. It looks like it's in good shape, and I believe it still works. Like most of the sirens here on Long Island, the sirens here work and serve a purpose, just like I said with the other ones. And I can now say with 99.99999% certainty that the sirens that I was seeing in Los Angeles, those cut down Model 7s, were definitely cut down Model 7s and not Zero drones. That's a Zero drone, and it looks completely different. One little anecdote about this fire station. Years ago, like I said, I lived around here. I used to drive around here all the time back when I was in my early 20s, late teens. I was driving past this fire station and I was stopped at this traffic light when I heard about Freddie Mercury's death. The radio cut the music and announced Freddie Mercury's death. And I will never forget that. This is where I was when I heard about the death of Freddie Mercury. It's like one of those, you know, the thing like everybody knows when Kennedy was shot and things like that. I always remember where I was when I heard about Freddie Mercury, and I was right here. So from that siren that was there on Hicksville Road and Sunrise Highway, I continued east down Sunrise Highway until I got to the Massapequas Park train station. I cut over to a street called Front Street, came down to the Massapequas Park fire station, and right here, where'd it go? Right there is our next siren. So that is a siren I have not seen before. By the way, if you notice, I might look different. From the last siren, I stopped for food, and by the time I got out, it was dark. So by the time I got here, it was too dark to see anything. So anyway, there's our next siren, and that siren is a HOR Sirex. It's a SI-REX. People probably know what that is, but I've never seen one before. So yeah, there's a lot of new sirens here on Long Island I need to learn about. But I wrote down some information about this siren. So according to what I found, it's a line of large-sized rotating sirens produced in the 50s and 60s by Harry O. Ricci. Siren and Signal Incorporated in Staten Island, New York. The sirens boast an incredible volume, outperforming many of their contemporaries. Unfortunately, not many of these guys survive today. I guess they're not making parts for them, so when they break, they just don't work. This one looks really in great shape. It looks brand new. You know, like there's no rust in them or anything. Now I've been on the island here for about 4 weeks, and I know the sirens work because I've heard them, but I haven't heard them as much as I remember in the past when I was a kid. But I know they still work, but I think this one still works. Let me know if you've heard it before or you know anything about it. Anyway, so today was a really great trip. Well, the last week was a really great trip. I got to see so many different sirens I had never seen before. And then there's the question between those Model 5s and Model 7s. According to the wiki, they look like Model 7s. The bottom is bigger than the top. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm wrong. Thank you for watching. There's many more sirens to see here on Long Island. And I can't wait to see more of them. And I can't wait to learn more about these different sirens that I've never seen before. So stay tuned. And as I always say, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future day trips. And until next time, remember to get out, explore the world around you. But as always, stay safe and stay healthy.